It's Monday, May 6th. In the headlines in local news, BOJ admits that the power of the banks are limited to handle some instances of fraud. In business news, Mayberry Jamaican Equities goes public with the latest bond offering. Regionally, CARICOM taking ISIS threat against ICC World Cup seriously. And in sports, West Indies announces squad for the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup. This is the news from PBC Jamaica. I'm Brittany Clark. There has been public outcry about the increasing incidence of bank fraud being experienced by members of the public. However, Deputy Governor at the Bank of Jamaica, Dr. Jide Lewis, says in some instances of bank fraud, the power of the bank is limited. Dr. Lewis spoke of these instances while fielding questions at the last sitting of the Economy and Production Committee of Parliament. Simone Absalom Gale has the story.
A report from the Jamaica Constabulary Force states that between 2021 to 2024, some 601 reports of fraud were made, totaling $306 million. Deputy Governor at the Bank of Jamaica, Dr. Jide Lewis, says in many instances the bank is not at fault. Giving an example, he says customers sometimes mistakenly transfer money to the wrong person.
That's a police matter, because the bank itself would have been following the instruction that was given by the client, and the other person that has received the funds erroneously has made a personal decision to use the funds. One could describe it as unethical, but regardless, that's the action that they have chosen to take. And so the DTI will tell the customer that they need to refer the matter to the police.
He notes the risk involved in sharing PIN numbers.
Customers of banks would make personal decisions to share their confidential PINs with members of family, friends, thereby breaching the terms and conditions of the product. And once they breach that, then the coverage and the sort of insurance that would travel with that particular product is forfeited. And so the investigation by the DTI and, if necessary, by the police would need to determine the details of the matter.
He says in many instances of bank fraud, the customer is refunded.
In December, would have issued guidelines, principles that entities should follow in terms of managing cyber risks, and cyber risks we are recognizing is a significant conduit that fraudsters are now using to gain access to the accounts of depositors. Those guidelines, those principles were supported by guidelines which we're consulting on and should be finalized, I would say, within a month. Thereafter, they'll become binding. And basically, what that will do is seek to create minimum standards around the integrity of the systems that banks must have in place.
It should be noted that Finance and Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced earlier this year that additional banking legislation described as a Twin Peaks system should be passed this year. Providing an update at the Parliament Committee, the Central Bank Governor, Richard Biles, said in the case of Twin Peaks, the BOJ had to start from scratch and build a market conduct and customer protection legislation, as there was no real history of it. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Simone Absalom Gale.
Collision investigation and crash reconstruction refers to the science of investigating, analyzing, and drawing conclusions about the causes and events during a vehicle collision. Investigators from the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Traffic Division have been given specialized training in this area of policing. Sergeant Sharika Cowens tells us more about this arm of the JCF.
When it comes to technology, there's a lot of challenges and limitations that we face. We can always do with more tools and resources such as computer and software that aids in accident investigation. In addition to this, the ongoing training of members to keep up to date with the new technologies and software that is available that will increase their expertise. These challenges are addressed by ensuring we maximize the resources that are available to us. In addition to that, we establish collaboration with agencies such as the Island Traffic Authority and the Road Safety Unit from the Ministry of Transport and Mining. Advanced technology in communication such as email, video conferencing, and instant messaging has allowed for the communication of AIRU personnel and members of external organizations through real-time communication. This has allowed for the sharing of resources and quick decision-making, which enables members to do their investigation in an efficient and effective manner. In balancing traditional and modern technology, we always ensure that we do a combination of each, which complements accident investigation. So this is done through case-to-case assessment, where each case is assessed individually. And in assessing these cases, we identify the different traditional and technological methods to be applied to each case based on the evidence available, the nature of the accident, and the resources that are available to us.
Heart NSTA Trust expects over 200,000 enrollments within the initial 3 years of launching its digital, technical, and vocational education and training TVET platform. More in this report from Danita Rodney.
Speaking at a recent JIS think tank, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, stated that the platform will revamp conventional TVET methods using digital technology for greater accessibility, flexibility, and efficacy.
The primary objective of the digital TVET platform is to modernize the traditional TVET approach by harnessing the power of digital technologies to enhance the accessibility, flexibility, and overall effectiveness of our TVET offerings.
She pointed out that it will also enable the transformation of lab-based courses into fully online experiences.
The digital TVET platform will enable the transformation of lab-based courses into fully online experiences by seamlessly integrating immersive labs with online lessons, thereby bolstering the Trust's investment in Centers of Excellence labs. This initiative will enable the Trust to develop versatile quality TVET products and services for export, which will enable monetization of its investment.
Dr. Ingleton highlighted that the digital platform's key feature will be its capacity to adapt to flexible training methods, addressing the constraints encountered by individuals in traditional 9-to-5 employment.
In terms of our digital TVET platform, we would have had the questions about flexible working, flexible training approaches. Individuals would have been approaching us that they're in their jobs that run from 9 to 5. Some of them work up to 7 o'clock. They would want to do something, but they're finding it difficult to access the Trust. And that is why we are going to be launching our digital TVET platform, because that platform will enable every Jamaican anywhere at any time of day to access our services.
She continued saying that the Trust's main goal through this initiative is to empower every Jamaican, regardless of their location or schedule, to access its services. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Mayberry Jamaican Equities Limited has opened its latest bond offering for the public. The offer seeks to raise a minimum of 2.25 billion Jamaican dollars to a maximum of 3.375 billion Jamaican dollars. The invitation to applicants to apply to purchase the secured bonds will open 9 a.m. on May 10, 2024, and will close at 4:30 p.m. on June 7, 2024, subject to the right of the company to A, close the invitation at any time after 9 a.m. on May 10, 2024. The minimum investment is 20,000 Jamaican dollars and further increments of no less than 10,000 Jamaican dollars. The Mayberry secured bond will pay interest of between 9.25% and 10.5% every 90 days starting June 30, 2024. During trading on May 3, 2024, the following companies valued at 500 million Jamaican dollars or more in assets represent the overall volume leaders on the main market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 837,274 units amounted to 17.98% of the market volume. Carreras Limited with 662,564 units amounting to 14.23% of the market volume. Wigton Wind Farm Limited, ordinary shares with 642,927 units amounted to 13% of the market volume. During trading on May 3, 2024 on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the following companies represent the overall volume leaders on the junior stock market, with companies valued at 50 million Jamaican dollars or more in asset value. Dollar Financial Services Limited with 686,474 units amounted to 24.91% of the market volume. Everything Fresh Limited with 522,652 units amounted to 18.97% of the market value. Express Catering Limited with 211,271 units amounting to 7.67% of the market volume. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on May 3, 2024, registered a volume of 281,536 shares crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at 2,789,999 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 5 cents. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 87,363 shares, changing hands for a value of $372,297.75 Trinidad and Tobago dollars, followed by First Caribbean International Bank Limited with a volume of 73,250 shares being traded for 507,301 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 50 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 3, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $51.27 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $47.8 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.62 and bought the US dollar for $155.89. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.73, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $6.66 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $116.78 and bought for $110.12. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.32, selling it for $197.65 and buying it for $191.33. For our credit report tip of the day, we encourage you to understand your credit report. Your credit report is a comprehensive record of your credit history, including credit accounts, payment history, and inquiries. As a first-time home buyer, understanding this document is essential. It provides insight to your financial behavior and helps lenders assess your credit worthiness for a mortgage. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security IMPACS is taking a threat made by the ISIS media group Nashir Pakistan very seriously. The media calling for attacks against the ICC World Cup cricket tournament. Wendy Burke tells us it was made via a post on social media and the chat channels of the group.
The online information speaks to potential threats and suspicious activities in the lead-up to the cricket tournament. CARICOM IMPACS issued an alert to its member states recently about sharing information and intelligence regarding the potential terrorist threat. Executive Director Lieutenant Colonel Michael Jones tells CBC they've taken it seriously and conducted a thorough investigation. However, at this time, there's no credible information or details to corroborate the threat. Barbados' Attorney General Dale Marshall has also been contacted about the alert. He says to date he's received nothing directly from IMPACS, but has seen what's been circulating. He says he cannot speak directly to the threat, but has noted the role CARICOM IMPACS plays in the security stance of the region.
Our region's preparation for Cricket World Cup 2024. We in Barbados have hosted Cricket World Cup before. We hosted it in 2007. On that occasion, I was also Attorney General. So I'm fairly well aware of the various potential challenges that might arise. And you might recall that at that time, in 2007, the world was still reeling from the 9/11 attacks. And there were lots of issues that we had to address. And those issues resulted in us establishing the same CARICOM IMPACS that is serving us so well at this time.
Mr. Marshall says terrorist threats are not only associated with sports and events like World Cup.
Any terrorist threat is not just one that is associated with a particular event like Cricket World Cup. Barbados constantly monitors terrorist threats. We are, in the eyes of some people, a soft target, and therefore we have to be mindful of the fact that we can be as much a target as many of the other countries who are actually on the front line. And therefore we are constantly in a state of preparation. And in that regard, our agencies, our immigration agencies, our customs, our police service, our BDF, are constantly reviewing the issues.
Security officials have given the assurance they will continue to monitor the situation and act accordingly if new information develops. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
The governments of Guyana and Jamaica on Friday signed a memorandum of understanding for mutual cooperation on mass media communication and public affairs. More in this report.
The MOU will see strengthened partnerships for knowledge sharing and capacity building, recognizing the vital role of mass communication.
We fully committed as a country, as a government, to forging enhanced relations among sister states of the Caribbean community to achieve synergies across our various sectors. And so the MOU between Guyana and Jamaica will virtually close the loops of space and distance between our information and communication sectors, building bridges of comity in the true spirit of the integration movement of CARICOM.
Minister McCoy was adamant that innovation must be a cornerstone of media relations and dissemination of information. He highlighted the role of media practitioners in conveying information objectively and accurately, and pledged that the government will continue to drive initiatives that build capacity in these areas.
We have to be able to continuously go after the information and to be able to package these information in a way that people would really understand.
Already, the Office of the Prime Minister is taking a targeted approach to bolster the communications landscape with a rigorous training program for new and current media practitioners. According to Minister McCoy, this MOU will open avenues for similar initiatives to complement this program. Meanwhile, Jamaica's minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, lamented that misinformation continues to plague the media fraternity. He stressed that collaboration is necessary to combat these social ills and said that the MOU will be instrumental in this effort.
We do expect that from time to time different groups from Guyana and Jamaica will travel back and forth between each other's countries in order to learn. I was at your government broadcaster's office, and we were very impressed by the efficiency and the effectiveness of the processes that you engage.
In the Bahamas, medicinal marijuana could soon be legal. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville tells reporters legislation is in its final stage of drafting with hopes of being tabled before summer. Our news reporter Joshua Williams has the details.
I want the Bahamian people to know that very shortly we will be laying these compendium of bills and get on with the passing of medical marijuana in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
That confirmation coming from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville as the push to legalize medicinal marijuana is moving forward. This comes after months of consultations and drafting by the Attorney General's office. There's been a lot of speculation about when legislation will be brought to Parliament. The last update was an assurance from Attorney General Ryan Pinder that a bill would be tabled in January of this year, but that didn't happen. Here's what Darville had to say.
We need to table it before the next budget. I cannot give you an exact date. Me and the Attorney General are wrapping up all of the parameters in order for them to be laid. We need to get this done. We've been speaking about a year and a half. We have massive consultation. No bill is absolutely perfect, but I assure you the compendium of the medical marijuana bills or cannabis bills are at a standard that we believe is safe for the Bahamian people and to ensure that these therapies reach in the hands of those individuals who have been bombarding us to deliver this bill and at the end of the day, pass it through Parliament and make it law.
And as the world advances in medical knowledge and technology, Dr. Darville says the benefits of medicinal marijuana are clear.
I believe that we have something that is very palatable, is good, and it is unique for the Bahamas, and I believe it will prove to be very beneficial for patients who are seeking medical cannabis for serious medical illnesses and do not have to cross borders with certain derivatives of cannabis that currently is breaking the law. We need to get this done.
The local Rastafarian community has made it known how they feel about the bill, and the health minister says talks with them have been good.
We are very concerned that we do it right. No one in any bill get everything that they want. But I believe that through the mitigation and through discussions, I think we have something that is workable, something that is safe, something that the Bahamian people can be proud of, and something that the community can benefit economically from the industry once it is put in place.
Reporting for our news, I'm Joshua Williams.
In sports, we bowl off with cricket. On Friday, West Indies announced a strong squad for the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup set for next month. CBC's Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
Cricket West Indies lead selector, the Most Honourable Desmond Haynes, revealed the highly anticipated 50-member West Indies squad for the upcoming ICC Men's T20 World Cup during a live media conference at the Marriott Hotel here in Barbados. Explosive batsman Rovman Powell has been named as the captain, with fast bowler Alzari Joseph his vice. Other members of the squad are Johnson Charles, Roston Chase, Shemron Hetmyer, Jason Holder, Shea Hope, Akil Hussain, Shamar Joseph, Brandon King, Gudakesh Moti, Nicholas Puran, Andre Russell, Sherfane Rutherford, and Romario Shepherd. Head coach Darren Sammy says he's confident this is the right squad to win the tournament.
We are quite clear as a selection group. We are ready. We're playing at home. Again, the preparation did not start today. It started a year ago, and when you look at role definition from the group that we have to select, I think we've come up with the best combination to help us win that World Cup.
As expected, Seymour Joseph was included, but batsman Hetmyer could be considered a surprise inclusion at the expense of fellow left-handed batsman Kyle Mears. Haynes explained the rationale behind the selections.
We had a very long discussion with the situation of the batting lineup, and as I want to state very clearly that our process always been roles. From the time he came in, and I also agree with it. We look at roles that we want people to play, and the situation of someone like Shamar Joseph, with his skills. You really can't question Shamar Joseph's skills. You saw him in Australia. I think that the role that, we were looking at someone up front bowling the first power play, and I think that he ticked the boxes for us. It was a very close decision regarding the selection between Kyle and also Hetty, but we look at it from the point of view if we wanted the extra batsman to be the one batting down the order.
There's an air of excitement on the island and around the region as thousands of tickets have already been sold for the marquee event. West Indies, the two-time champions, are in Group C, alongside Afghanistan, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and Uganda. The hosts will kick off their campaign on day number 2 of the World Cup, June 2nd, against Papua New Guinea in Guyana. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Over to football. Trinidad and Tobago's national under-17 men's football team went down by 2-1 at the hands of Jamaica on Sunday. The Young Warriors won the first game by 1-0, but the host got the better of them to level their 2-match series at 1 each. Here are the details.
Before the game, the teams met with officials, including Trinidad and Tobago's High Commissioner to Jamaica, Derek Murray. However, the result at the end went in favor of Jamaica. The Young Warriors took the lead in the 15th minute through Salim Sonis. Jamaica found the equalizer in the 38th thanks to Orel Miller, and the winner came in the 61st through Jamari Nolan. With the 2-game series ending 1-1, Coach Sean Cooper commended his players for their effort over the 2 games.
Coming out here with a 1-1 in the series is very good for us because, as I said, we have a lot of new guys here. There's only 3 guys from the original under-15 team. And you saw some new guys coming in here for Jamaica. So we have about 8 overseas boys along with, So for this group to get this sort of result here, and it was a hard-fought 2-1 victory. It just wasn't a 2-1 victory. It was a hard-fought 2-1 victory. So we think we came out on top here today.
He adds the 2-match series was benefit to his team.
It's always beneficial in playing Jamaica. The rivalry, this game was played like a proper game. It wasn't played like a training game or a friendly. It was a proper international game. And some of our guys saw what it takes to play at the international level. And it's all well for their development.
Cooper, while pleased with his squad, says scouting for players for the team also remains a priority for his staff.
We are hoping to do what you all did in front of us. Go foreign and see what guys we have, could fill in. We have a number of them at Inter Miami who played against Olympic Lyon last night, so in Martinique. So, we have about 3 of them, and then we are looking to broaden our horizon. So when we go back to Trinidad now with the exposure these guys have and the ones who back home who already had some exposure, it will only do well for our road and going forward.
Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
That's the news on PBC Jamaica. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBC Jamaica. Thanks for watching.